Welcome back, everybody. Today's featured issue is issue number 11. Dates March 11th through March 24th of 1982 of Kerrang! I'm Tony. You're here at KGTR. We're going to go through this magazine page by page. That's what we do here. You requested it. I'm going to give it to you. We're going to go through these magazines and see what's in there, see what they're talking about, who are the hottest bands of the time of the era, because I'm giving you the best of 80s heavy metal. That's why you're here. And I thank you for it. All right, to put things in perspective, again, look at the dates. March 11th through March 24th. March 19th, Randy Rhoads passes away. So, it's just interesting that, I'm just looking back. But March 19th, Randy Rhoads passes away. And this is the issue. I'm not saying he's in this issue, but it's during this issue, dates is when he passed away. Just to put things in perspective, this is 2025. We're going over the magazine in 1982 to go back in time. Again, 80s hair metal wasn't done. It wasn't out yet. Quiet Riot, Pyromania, Shout at the Devil wasn't out yet. The explosions of 80s metal of 83, the S Festival wasn't out yet. So it's just beginning. Wait till we get there. Right. So this issue has in color Saxon, Triumph, Grand Prix. I never heard of the band Grand Prix. Status Quo. Starfighters. I never heard of Starfighters. Def Leppard. Here we go. They're starting to make some noise. Molly Hatchet. Rock Goddess. Pat Travers. Frank Marino. And right here, the legendary Angus Young, AC/DC. Loverboy. Win Saxon's guitar strap tank. And exclusive Glenn Hughes. All right. So here we go. Let's go ahead and open her up and see what's in this issue. Again, they're talking about Mayhem. Here's Ozzy Osbourne. I don't know if here, I can't say if they're talking about Randy Rhoads here. Let's see if I can find it, if they are. Moving, what's this say? I can't read this. Let's see if they have anything on Ozzy. There's a photo of Ozzy and the midget right there, Ronnie. So there's the section Mayhem. I was looking for anything about Randy Rhoads. Right, and here we go. I can't read that right there, but there's Meatloaf. Who's this guy? Vince Neil? That can't be Vince Neil, right? Is that Vince Neil? Let me see if I can blow that up. I don't think it's Vince Neil, right? That can't be Vince Neil. I want to say it says Vince Neil. I could be wrong. Oh, bleach blonde or brunette. Maybe it is Vince Neil. Wouldn't that be cool if that was Vince Neil? Ozzy Osbourne in the U.S. right here. Let's see what this says. No, again, it's small print, but doesn't mention anything about Ozzy Osbourne or Randy Rhoads. But these are the latest buzz and happenings. Right, Thunder again. Excuse the ripping of the magazine. Thunder from Down Under. So here we go. This will be a nice article. Interview possibly on talks to Brian Johnson and Angus Young of AC/DC. So this would be pretty cool to talk to the band in 1982. So if you're interested in see what they had to say, I'd be more than happy to read this out loud or summarize it for you. That'd be cool right there. But in 1982, they were huge with Back in Black. So they were like, with Van Halen, one of the hottest metal bands out there. Headlining everywhere. AC/DC from previous page. So they're probably like, they were blowing up. There were worldwide tours. They were good. Look, Demon. So a new single, One Hell of a Night. So I'm sure you can find Demon, One Hell of a Night on YouTube. Any of you out there want to go look for it, let me know what you thought about Demon. Any good? Let me know if they're worth giving a listen to. I've never heard of Demon, but apparently they got records out. So someone type in Demon, One Hell of a Night, single, 1982, and let me know your thoughts. Alright, tour news. So this is what Status Quo, Girls School, the Scorpions. That's tour news about who's going on tour. These are the top 30 hits for that month or that week. Pussy Talk. Rawr. Sylvia Simmons gets Among Loverboy's Curls. So here's Loverboy. Again, Loverboy was a good rock band. Not heavy metal, but they were a good rock band. This guy always wore a bandana over his forehead. He wore like red jeans, sort of the guitar player. But they were good. I have their catalog, and I didn't have their catalog back in '82. I got it after the fact. Looking back on it, it was a great catalog. They wrote some good songs, very catchy riffs, and music that you can turn up on your car stereo driving. I recommend Loverboy. Loverboy was good. All right. Hey, oop, lads. It's Biff from Barnsley with Ruptured Duck. The lads from Saxon come down south to talk to Chris Welch. So, the lads from Saxon. So, there we go. Let's talk about Saxon. All right, more Saxon right there. Okay, let's see. The thing about this print, this magazine, the print is really small. I don't know if that's to conserve pages, you know? And I can see them doing that to save, because their publications are always like 50 pages or 40 pages. But the print is really small. So maybe I think they're thinking if they can shrink the print, they can put more ads in there. I don't know. So there's Biff and Mike. So it's just something to consider. Grand Prix. So there's a band called Grand Prix. Remember the band Saga? So I think Grand Prix may be along the lines of Saga. Remember, tonight we're on the loose. Saga. I used to like Saga, but I only knew of that one hit. They had another video on MTV, which sucked, or I don't remember it. I just remember the guitar player on Saga with his little run. But back then it was pretty cool. It was pretty fast. It was a fast lick back then. But this reminds me of Saga. Again, I never heard of Grand Prix. Right, look at Steven Tyler. So 1982, when Lightning Strikes, they were trying to delve into heavy metal with Lightning Strikes. It was a good song. It was a good video. It's hard and heavy. We're coming out of the 70s. They're trying to basically compete with the new kids of the 80s metal. And they hung in there, but they blew up in 1987. You know, with drugs and whatnot, and rehab. They went from top to out of commission to back on top, even bigger and better. So, kudos to Aerosmith. But apparently now he can't sing, so that's pretty sad. He lost his voice. And look, I don't know if that's probably from lung cancer, smoking, who knows. But there's Aerosmith. Great showman, great frontman. Great band, Aerosmith. Silence is Broken. Steve Gett tracks down Glenn Hughes in Los Angeles. Glenn Hughes can sing. Great singer on a lot of guitar players' albums, bands. Very well in demand, Glenn Hughes. Check him out. He can sing. All right, exclusive. Okay, so see, this was part of a poster, so I apologize for that. But I can only scan one page at a time. So, if you see my magazines open page by page, that's because I have a backup copy, which it didn't hurt me to tear it up, where I can scan each page separately and keep my original intact. So, the Michael Schenker Group, MSG, One Night in Budokan. That's a great album. Check it out. It's on YouTube. You can look it up on YouTube. Look up Michael Schenker Live 1982. You'll see some amazing footage of Michael Schenker tearing it up. And I always thought he would be hot. He played with jeans, no shirt, and a leather jacket. That leather jacket must have been hot with all those lights. He must have been sweating bullets. Why would you wear a leather jacket? But that was his look. You know, black and white and the leather jacket, that was his trademark. All right, Hell's Bells. Venom, the band Venom. Look at Loverboy. This was a big album for them. Tank. I've never heard of Tank or Venom. And then I can't read these. Magnum. I never heard of Magnum either. Let me know if you have. All right. Cuts. Saga. See, look. Saga. By then, they had one video out. Heavy Airplay on MTV. It was On the Loose. But that was it. And the guitar player was pretty good. He was clean. He had a Fender Stratocaster in it. But the band was like weird. I couldn't get into it. So, I don't know what that says. Survivor. Y&T, I think. Aldo Nova. Oh, Aldo Nova was awesome. When Aldo Nova came out, he kicked ass. I love Aldo Nova. Various artists. LaRue. Doc Holliday. So the latest albums. All tagged up. Again, this must be is this who's this? I don't know if this is Motorhead. This could be from Motorhead. He looks familiar right there. Oh look, this guy's in the hospital, isn't that sad? Alright, here we go. This band. Look, Triumph. So here's Frank Marino, great guitar player. Very good guitar player. Pat Travers, also another great guitar player. Look at this. I don't know if this is a Dean Flying V. I think this is the Dean Flying V. Yeah, this is the Dean Flying V. So, made for him, I believe. So look, you got Rick Emmett, monster guitar player. Frank Marino, monster guitar player. Pat Travers, monster guitar player. And that's why Canadian acts. So Canadian. Isn't that cool? Heavy Metal Gorillas. Kilowatts. Alright, again, I would read this to you, but it's small print. Just glancing through the photos. Any advertisements. Monsters of Rock, the heaviest label in the world. I like to show a little Frankenstein right there. Isn't that cool? I don't know who this is. Lizzie Borden or Billy Squire. So this is Billy Squire. There was an MTV concert, a weekend concert. I believe it was 81, 82. It's out there. It's Billy Squire live. And whatever footage you see that's pro shot, that's the video that was on MTV weekend concerts. I remember that concert. I didn't record it, but there were a lot of footage from that show that were made into videos. Armed and Ready. I can't read this print. More new bands to watch out for. Marillion. So there's a band called... I heard of Marillion. I don't remember any songs from Marillion, but they were out there. Marillion. Lone Wolf. I never heard of Lone Wolf. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a big band right there, huh? Helix. I remember Helix. Helix was good. Give me an A, B, B. No, give me an R, O, O, C. Give me, what's that spell? Rock. I think that's Helix, right? Helix? Violation. Look at this little flying V right there. Another flying V right there. So I never heard of Violation. Obviously they fizzled. But Helix was around. Helix was around with Crocus. Helix is good, so check out Helix. Fighting Stars. Steve Gett talks to the Starfighters in Chicago. So again, look up Starfighters on YouTube and see if you can see what they sound like. Right, this is still the Starfighters right here. So here they are, Starfighters. So let me know your thoughts on the Starfighters. Guitar Heroes, Mike Panera. Look at this fake blood. Like they're trying to assassinate him. Isn't that weird? When did you begin playing guitar? 1965, I think? I can't read that small. Alice Cooper's guitar player. So, if you want me to read this to you, I can. It's just too small for me to read. Concerts, upcoming concerts. There's Thin Lizzy, the Lightning Raiders. So there's that. Long Stick goes Kerrang. Crocus. I remember Steve Von Arp was his name? I forgot his name. The guitar player. He's pretty good. But yeah. It's just a dumb name, Crocus. Rock Goddess. So here's the heavy... Look, that's a cool Gibson SG, right? So Rock Goddess. The name sounds familiar. I'd have to look them up and see how good Rock Goddess was. Alright, here's Status Quo. I remember Status Quo again. I remember Status Quo from Live Aid. So that's how I remember Status Quo. I remember him and him from Live Aid. Alright, some comics right there. Crosswords right there. Some pen pals right there. We're almost done with this issue. Classifieds, like for sale, records for sale, wanted. This is where you basically say guitarist wanted, guitarist available. More classifieds right there. Mad Max 2 now showing. Isn't that weird? So in February, March, Mad Max 2 was in theaters. Rose Tattoo, Foreigner, Motley Crue, Uriah Heep, Britain's loudest rock magazine. So this is next week's issue, or next issue right there. We're almost done with this. Alright, Def Leppard again. There's that old guitar player that they had. I don't know what happened to that guitar player. He either got rid of him or he quit because Phil Collins came in and then they blew up. I wonder if he regretted it. I wonder if he regretted leaving or getting fired. I don't know what happened to that guitar player. Let me know what happened to that guitar player. He was pretty good on the Heartbreak. Giving on a heartache. I forgot the damn song. But there's a video out there with the original guitar player. But then Pyromania came out and it's Phil Collins with that Ibanez. Alright, look at Molly Hatchet with his Fender Stratocaster right there. That's pretty cool, right? More Letters to the Editor right there. Look at little Gene Simmons right there. Alright, Whitesnake's Alphabet. These are probably his tour dates right there. Again, more letters. Alright, you can buy this album for $3.99. Filthy Hounds of Hades. Tank. Filthy Hounds of... So there's a heavy metal band called Tank. Alright, what else? Alright, and this was the last page of the issue. Right there. That was the ad right there. And there it is. That was Kerrang's issue number 11 from March 11 through March 24th. Let me know your thoughts on this issue. Did you have this issue? Do you remember this issue? Do you even remember this magazine? But I love this magazine because we're covering basically the evolution of 80s metal guitar. This is the evolution of what I've been giving you with the latest Kerrang issues, because they started in 1981 and 80s metal basically blew up in 83. So you're seeing all these heavy metal bands coming and going, disappearing, and we're going to start seeing the beginning of 80s metal explode in the upcoming issues. All right? Leave any questions, comments, or feedback or requests below. I'm Tony. Thank you for joining me here at KGTR. It's good to be with all of you, and I'm glad you're enjoying this series of vintage magazine reviews where we go back in time and go over past magazines page by page. All right? I'll see you all real soon in the next video.